Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you thought the love story between Chae Soo and Yoo Yeon Seok ended with a dreamy wedding last month, think again. Because just 1 month after saying I do, this couple has dropped a jaw-dropping announcement that absolutely no one saw coming. What happened? Why is the entire internet talking about them? And how did this sweet, quiet love story suddenly become the most talked about moment in K-biz? We've got all the details, the fan reactions, and the emotional moment that's breaking hearts in the best way possible. So, before we dive into the shocking update, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the real stories behind the headlines. All right, are you ready? Let's get into it. It was the kind of wedding that made you believe in love again. Just 1 month ago, Chae Soo and Yoo Yeon Seok stood under soft candlelight in a quiet ceremony in Jeju Island and promised forever. No glitz, no fanfare, just two hearts finally allowed to beat as one in front of the world. It felt like the perfect ending to a secret love story, the kind that blooms quietly, far from cameras, and makes its way into the light only when it's strong enough. But today, that story took a turn no one expected, because just 30 days after tying the knot, they appeared on a casual live stream, just a thank you moment for fans, or so everyone thought. And then, without warning, they dropped the kind of news that made the world stop. Yoo Yeon Seok leaned forward, his hand wrapped around hers, and said, "We've been thinking a lot about what to say, and whether to say anything at all." Chae Soo looked into the camera, voice trembling but steady, and followed with, "We didn't plan for this, but sometimes life surprises you." And then came the moment no one was ready for. "We're expecting." A single sentence, gentle, raw, and real, sent shockwaves through the internet. Livestream numbers exploded from thousands to hundreds of thousands within minutes. Comments came so fast, the screen glitched. Twitter broke into trending hashtags, #SooBinBaby, #YeonSeokDaddy, and unexpected but perfect. Fans screamed, others cried, and somewhere in between, the world stood still trying to process what had just happened. They were glowing. Not with the rehearsed smiles of celebrities promoting a brand, but with the unfiltered, overwhelming vulnerability of two people letting the world into the most sacred chapter of their lives. "We found out shortly before the wedding," Soobin confessed, her eyes glistening. "We were scared. Still are. But more than anything, we're happy." Young Sok smiled at her like nothing else in the world mattered, adding, "We dreamed of building a home together. We just didn't know it would start growing this soon." It wasn't a press release. It wasn't a media stunt. It was love in its purest, bravest form, shown not on screen, but in real life. And somehow, that made it even more magical. Even the harshest critics online seemed to soften. News anchors smiled delivering the segment. Celebrities reposted the moment with hearts. Park Bo-gum wrote, "This is beautiful. May your love only grow stronger." Han So-hee simply said, "My heart, my whole heart." But the most beautiful reaction? It came from a fan. One quiet post in a fan cafe that said, "I watched them fall in love on screen. I watched them get married in real life. And now I'm watching their next chapter begin. This isn't a fairy tale. It's better because it's real. No press could have written it better, because that's what this story is. Not a scandal, not a trend, but a reminder that in a world full of noise, real love still finds a way to speak loudest when it's whispered. Tonight, their phones are off. No new posts, no flashy headlines, just the echo of that live stream playing in the hearts of millions, reminding us that sometimes the most unexpected surprises are the ones that make us believe in love all over again. And while the world celebrates, a quiet question lingers beneath the headlines, whispered not in judgment, but in awe. How did they manage to protect something so fragile in an industry so loud? For years, Chae Soo and Yoo Yeon Seok played their roles with grace, on screen and off. No scandals, no attention-seeking, just two professionals who let their work speak louder than their personal lives. But behind that silence, a whole universe was blooming. Late-night phone calls after long shoots, whispered encouragements before premieres, quiet dates in hidden cafes that no one ever noticed, or maybe everyone just chose not to see. Now, looking back, the signs were always there. The way Yeon Seok watched her during interviews, not with the gaze of a co-star, but with the softness of someone who sees home in another person's eyes. The way Soobin once called him my anchor during an acceptance speech, something fans thought was a metaphor, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a confession, a quiet truth hidden in plain sight. And now that truth is no longer theirs alone. It belongs to the world. But rather than being invaded, it feels shared, almost sacred, because they chose to reveal it not when it was convenient, not when it could boost ratings or ride a trending wave, but when it felt real, human, and honest. And maybe that's why people are responding with so much love, because it reminds us that behind the camera-ready smiles, behind the designer gowns and red carpets, these stars are just like us, afraid, hopeful, and deeply human. Some media outlets tried to stir controversy, questioning the timing of the pregnancy, the rushed wedding, the unplanned reveal. But the public wasn't having it. Thousands of fans flooded comment sections with a unified voice. Let them be. Let them love. Because for once, it isn't about gossip. It's about growth. Not drama, but family. There's already talk of fan-organized support events, a charity baby gift drive, a letter campaign called Messages to the Little One. Some fans are even writing lullabies. That's the power of a story like this. It doesn't just spark curiosity, it inspires connection. You don't just watch it unfold, you feel like you're a part of it. As for Chae Soo and Yoo Yeon Seok, their future remains unwritten. They've hinted at a short hiatus, not retirement. We're still artists, Soobin said softly before the live stream ended. We just have a new role to prepare for now, mom and dad. Yeon Seok smiled, pulled her closer, and added, "It's the biggest role of our lives, and the most beautiful." And just like that, the screen faded to black. No dramatic music, no cliffhanger, just the echo of something real, something rare, something true. And in a world full of stories, this one will be remembered not because it shocked us, but because it reminded us what love is supposed to feel like. Later that night, as social media slowly calmed and news anchors signed off with softened smiles, a single clip from the live stream replayed again and again, not because it was dramatic, but because it was quiet. Just seconds before the screen went black, Yoo Yeon Seok turned to Chae Soo. Unaware the camera was still rolling, he whispered, almost too soft to catch, "You're not alone in this." And she replied, barely mouthing the words, "I know, I never was." Those 4 words, "I never was," trended for hours afterwards, not because they were poetic, but because they said everything.